Like, I was like, I'm not bringing the new year with debt. And we did that. And if I could do it, you could do it too. Okay? Hello beautiful people, Aisha Tubella here, founder of Stilettos and Standards, and here we normalize femininity, excellence, and luxury for Black women. Today's video is not too far-fetched. We're going to talk about the excellence bit, and that is being debt-free. Now I have some notes here because it's a lot of information and I just wanted to touch base everything that I wanted to talk about. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. A quick disclaimer is that I'm talking about credit card debt, not student loan. I was very lucky to go to a school that was affordable, so I was able to go for free and through grants and financial aids and all sorts of things. So I do not have any student loans. I did accumulate credit card debt, so we're going to talk about it. So before we get started, I just want to say that my name is Aisha Tubella and I'm debt free. You guys, it took a while for me to get here, okay? So I'ma celebrate, and that's on period. Okay, so without further ado, let's really get started into my notes. And I really wanted to share that because if I can do it, no, seriously, if I can do it, you can do it. About a year ago, I had about 12K in credit card debt, and it fluctuated because I didn't take it seriously. I would pay off the minimum balance, sometimes even way more than that, but then I would go ahead and swipe it right away. I didn't think of a system, so the first thing that I did was reframe my mind from this need of this scarcity point of view to an abundance, and that led me to want to spread my sources of income and monetize my business, and that led me to finding a better job. So I just want to throw that out there. I had to reframe my mind and find solutions, and the first thing that I did was try to find other sources of income. Another disclaimer, I am working full-time in corporate America, and I also own a business, a shop where I sell sweaters that talk about normalizing luxury for Black women. So I think that really played a part of a big role in me being debt free, even though I have not touched the money from my business. But just reframing my mind and thinking from a need of abundance and not scarcity just gave me more confidence to believe that I can do it. The next thing that I would say is knowing where your money goes. And that was very important to me because up until a couple of years ago, I wasn't really doing that. Like, I knew where my money went when I went to the store and bought things, but I wasn't really looking at my behavioral patterns and what I spent the most on weekly. So I essentially went ahead and signed up for mint.com, not sponsored, and I just tracked my money on a weekly basis, which brings me to the next tip. I use the same exact app to have a budget, and that doesn't mean that I was always consistent with my budgeting, but I was very serious about it. So for the most part, I was sticking to it. Of course, I'm human, so I had moments where I was distracted or would buy things that I didn't need, but to really hit my finish line, I said, you know what, if I keep doing that, I'm not going to reach my goal and I'm going to stop, which led me to being debt free on December 30th, 2020. Like, I was like, I'm not bringing the new year with debt, and we did that. And if I could do it, you could do it too, okay? So with low buy, I knew that I needed to remove any type of distractions and also create this type of friction. Distracting myself meant getting all these emails with sales, so I started unsubscribing to everything. Anything that I didn't need before seeing an ad, I wasn't getting. So I started removing all of my subscriptions Then I removed my credit card from Apple Pay because it was easy for me to scan and to pay stuff. I just removed all of that, and I did keep my debit card. Some people remove everything, but I did keep my debit card for low buy, and I knew that if I didn't need something, I wasn't going to give my hard-earned cash. So I started reframing my mind, because sometimes when you have credit cards, you're like, oh, it's not my money, I'm gonna just swipe it and pay it back. But I started to see it as, nah, this is not my money, and when I pay it, I have to pay interest, so I'm paying more than what it is, and I didn't want to do that. So I started low buy, and sometimes I would do no buy weeks on only necessities or essentials, and that really played a role in my debt-free journey. I also knew that I needed to build a wealth mindset, and that means always knowing my why, and knowing that every time I swiped my card, I was pushing myself further away from my goals. So I just knew, I always knew my why, and for me, my why was financial freedom, being able to use my hard-earned money and not feel like I owe anyone back or was paying interest or something extra for it. And that was really important for me, and I always kept that in the back of my head, that if I was paying for something with that credit card, I was going to end up paying double the amount sometimes with interest rate, and it wasn't worth it to me. To also keep me grounded, I watched a lot of debt-free videos. I watched a lot of Dames Ramsey. I watched girls that looked like me, that were debt-free, because I knew that if they could do it, I could do it too. And I know that sounds sucky, but I've also watched people who were deeper in debt than me and who free themselves, and I was like, if they could free themselves from $100,000 of debt, I can get rid of my little 10, 12K. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I started watching that, and of course I took a lot of advice from Dave Ramsey, but I also took what applied and left the rest. So I didn't follow everything verbatim, but I did focus on my debt first. And I don't know anyone whose emergency fund is $1,000 in the US or in New York City. So I knew that I needed more of that, and I think that's what delayed my freedom, because I was focusing more on savings first and then debt. But watching these videos while I slacked off, even till this day, helped me a lot when I go through moments and I'm quarantined, but I mean, I'm inside. Why am I shopping? So sometimes I'll watch videos from like people my age group, or women that look like me who are experiencing minimalism, and I just apply some things that work for me. The last thing that I think is really important is having an accountability partner. I go by this all the time, and what I mean by that is having a partner who is mutually helpful. It's not one where you're like coaching, is really someone who is pushing you, and vice versa. And I ended up having a close friend that I was very comfortable with sharing my income and where my money went and where my money came, because if I wasn't open, I couldn't use another set of eyes. So having that close friend be my accountability partner and showing me where my money came and where my money went and what I was spending money on and how I didn't reach my goal and I was buying things that I didn't need was really helpful. So before I end this video, I want to leave with you knowing that I'm not any better. If I could do it, you can honestly do it too. I started my debt around maybe 2012. I had a $500 credit card, and then that quickly accumulated to $1,000, $2,000. And when I blew that up, I knew that I needed to bump up my credit score. So I went and applied for another credit card, but then I used that up too. And that quickly accumulated to well over 11K. And as of a few months ago, I'm completely debt free and my credit score is chef kiss beautiful. But I've been there. I've been where you're at, and it started to bother me so much. So if you want to fix something, it has to bother you enough for you to find a solution. You can't allow this capitalism society to just keep you tight and take all of your money. And I know that I played a big part in it by using these credit cards and spending money, but the other side is better, not having any credit. So I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, my darlings.